and welcome to Nobody Meets Somebody,
The podcast where two comedians
who are currently nobody,
meet somebody.
who is famous. My name is Mary Picarazzi.
And I'm Tanvi Arora.
In today's episode, we got to talk to Aneesha Madhok. She's making her Hollywood debut with her movie Bully High that should be coming out shortly. In addition to being an actress, she's a dancer, a writer, a comedian, name it. She can do it all. Tanvir, did we not find that out?
We did, but we also found out things that she cannot do, and I am really excited to share that with you guys. But no, she was fun to talk to. This has been super, super cool. You'll check it out in the episode.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of these interviews that she may end up regretting when she becomes super famous and be like, I don't know who those people are, but I'm going to take it.
Hey, we've got her permission to use this content. This is ours now.
No, she was absolutely fabulous. I have an open invitation to go visit, so I may bring Tanvir, maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, she didn't invite me, really. Yeah.
She kind of did. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We can sneak you on board a plane. That's easy to do nowadays, right?
Totally. I prefer the being in the cabin luggage than the main one.
Oh, that's funny. So normally we would do our segment of Nosy Neighbors, but this week we have a new segment called Weird Facts. Tanvir, I've got one for you. I got one for you that I've been itching to tell you.
Tell me.
I learned, because you're an Apple guy, I am not an Apple gal.
We still do the podcast together, but okay.
Surprisingly. But Steve Jobs used to soak his feet in the bathrooms at Apple.
Okay, I don't see anything wrong with that. Okay.
He would just go to the bathroom, open the stall, put his feet in the stall, in the bathroom, in the water.
In the toilet, in the pot.
In the toilet. Just it would not be an unusual thing to see him because he always walked around barefoot. So even in conference meetings, he would put his feet on top of the tables. So his feet would be up there with, everything that's on your feet. But he would go and soak them and wash them in the toilets with toilet water.
I mean, I get how it is. It sounds absurd, but I'm kind of like on board with it. Like it's not that bad of a thing. If he was barefoot, his feet would get dirty.
They make water cleaners. Like he owns Apple, for heaven's sake. He could have bought the little foot cleaning thing that you can put in there. Not put your feet in a toilet where someone just dropped a deuce.
See, that's what I've learned in my life so far. All the rich people have cut corners. They do not get rich, but just by spending on things like, I need a feet washer.
A foot bath would have been the lowest amount of things that he could. You charge $800 for a phone? You can afford a foot bath, my friend.
But then he opened the gates to buy any and everything. I think that was a good move on Steve Jobs' part. I'm with him. Gross. Rest in peace, my man. Rest in peace.
No. People leave comments. Blow this up because this is not okay. This is 100% not okay. This is disgusting.
In fact, I think when you flush, the swirl kind of gives you like a nice jacuzzi massage kind of feel. I'm gonna try that tonight.
Oh my God.
I will
please take video of that. I want to put that up there just so I can be like, yeah, this is the crazy person I work with.
I have a bathroom that's not that used. So I'm going to try it in that one.
Not that used. You just don't have to go to the bathroom or
just... No. Oh, the one, I have got 3 bathrooms. The one that's not that used.
Humble brag much, okay?
I'm going to edit this out. I don't want people to know. But I'm going to use that one
but just to think about it, he used working in an IT company, right? You have more men than women, statistically speaking.
Right.
Those bathrooms are all being used. He could have used his own personal bathroom, and he didn't do that. He went to the public bathrooms within the building. So those
hold on. I want to fact check this before I even start arguing.
Do it. You fact check that. Oh, you're checking it right now?
Did Steve Jobs wash his feet in the toilet? He soaked his feet in toilet water as a stress reliever, according to his authorized biography written by Walter written by Walter Isaacson. One of the tech gurus go to stress relievers during the early days of Apple to soak his bare feet in the toilet water. Okay, it's a thing. It was a thing.
It's a thing.
I want to see.
That's-
I want to ask. I want to actually. After this, I'm going to tweet Elon Musk because he's known as the new Steve Jobs. I want to ask him what is his take and does he do
Well,
it
he's
from
known to answer your tweets, so yeah, that makes sense to do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm buddies with him. You remember he just sold his house. He has no place to stay, and I've had an extra bathroom. Hey, go.
Seemed like an opportunity. But that's my weird fact of the week. I read about this and I was like, come again? That's gross. I'm just saying, you charge $800 to $1,000 for a piece of phone that you just bro, buy a bath. Be done with it. That's just I got no words. I have no words for that.
I do communicate with Steve Jobs occasionally. I'll ask him. I'll bring it up when the time is right.
You're going to hell for that one. I didn't even go that far.
It'll be easier to talk to him.
Oh, nope.
Edit this out.
All right, this is like a great time to start our interview. You ready, Tanvir?
I am super ready. Let's do it.
Let's talk to Aneesha.
Hello and welcome. And Aneesha, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. This is good. We're super excited about this. Before we start, though, I would want meet my co-host Mary Picarazzi. I would definitely want her to pronounce your name and see if she got it right or not. So let's do this.
I think she can do it.
Why, Tanvir?
Do it.
Our lovely guest is Aneesha Madhok today.
Oh my God! There you go. Look, I have one of the easiest brown names. You can't. That joke won't work with me. You gotta have someone like. That's when you have a problem.
So here's my concern with that. I think she got Aneesha right. How do you pronounce your last name? The actual pronunciation. Tell me that.
The problem is that I don't even pronounce my last name the way it's actually meant to be pronounced.
There you go. This is.
Okay, great. So my last name is Madhok. Okay, and you're supposed to say it like Madhok. Depends where you are in India. Madhok. But the thing is that I think my last name comes it's a fusion because the Brits ruled India, so we were raped, right? They had to like rape one or two last names too. This is a Russell Peters thing, not my joke. But my last name is like a British last name, Maddock, and I think it was something Indian. So you have Madhok, and then you have Chandhok and Gadok. So you can say Madhok.
Okay. I'm glad we just got that out of the way.
That's how we like to start our show, with just upfront passive aggressiveness.
Absolutely. Mary Picarazzi in Tanvir Arora.
There you go. That's the right pronunciation of my last name, which no one ever does. But anyways, I want to ask you, how is the quarantine? How's the pandemic going for you? It's going great for us. You like it?
I love it. I really love the pandemic because I haven't met a single human being since May 29th, which is my birthday, outside of my family, of course. And I'm okay with it. Like, I'm surviving. And I think because this is where I get serious, even though it's a comedy podcast. But like, there were people out here in this world controlling the world. And now the pandemic has dropped their businesses, and thriving artists who are, hustling, still on the rise, are getting more opportunity to focus on themselves. It's kind of like the higher power has sort of given a sense of equality, because like everyone's at home, everyone's quarantined, right? So there's more opportunities for us with the digital realm. And over the past few days, like some of my memes went viral. So I'm like, I'm chilling, I'm having a good time, I'm dancing, I'm writing, I'm doing podcasts with really cool people. I love the pandemic. The only bad part is you don't get to have sex, but that's okay. FYI.
Hey, talk for yourself.
Fingers are good.
Exactly.
You gotta love yourself too, Just saying.
That's good to hear, though. By the way, this is our first. The word that Mary asked me to use was transatlantic podcast session.
I said transatlantic call. Transatlantic. This is our first overseas call for the podcast.
We're excited about that. How? So you're right now in India. How long have you been staying in India? Because we know you were in LA for a while.
Yeah,
Right.
I've been in India since January.
Okay.
right, like
Okay.
before the pandemic. Then I was in Israel. Then I went back to India, and I was supposed to come back to LA in March, and then.
Things
Oops.
happened.
Yeah.
But how's the pandemic been for you guys?
Uh,
You were not ready for that. You were ready to interview me, right? You were not ready for
no,
that.
no,
I
that's
mean,
not even.
it's been okay, but I mean, for stand up comics right now, it's like kind of a void. Zoom doesn't quite do it for a stand up audience, and then not being able to go to a club. I mean, right now we have small clubs open with social distancing, but it's just not the same as having a full live rowdy crowd, yelling out
Yeah,
things in the middle of your set. Like that's just miss that. I
I
miss
miss
that.
that too. Yeah, the
Yeah.
heckles.
It was
Oh,
fun for me for the first 2 months, I would say, because I really like being home and just working from home and not seeing a single person, just like you said. I was kind of enjoying that. Then kind of depression hit. I'm like, okay, I need people. I really need people. As much as I hate human beings, I need them. I really do. They kind of add to your life. So yeah, it's been hard.
but I was just laughing because you're a Scorpio, so the things that you said is
We're
like
both
very.
Scorpios.
Oh my god.
Should we just
I
end the
love.
call now? Like,
No, no, stop. I love
November.
Scorpios.
November, baby.
I love Scorpios. You guys are just too mysterious, and it's just I can't understand you guys. So
yeah, I'm Batman, actually. I'm Batman.
All right, this interview is going well.
It's going great.
Anisha, you originally were born in Kenya.
Mhm.
Where would you call your hometown? Would it be in Kenya or is it in Delhi or
It's Delhi, but I feel like I feel very LA. You know, I've lived there for 6 years. My personality, it's like until the age of 16, I was just like doing school and stuff, and then 17 onwards, my personality like developed. I'm all of a sudden an actor, a comedian, a dancer, a writer.
writer?
That
Yeah.
LA, you gotta write jokes, yeah. If you gotta, you know. So I think LA is what I call home, and I would love to live there for the rest of my life. But Delhi is my hometown.
Nice, nice. And of course we talked about this before we started recording, but you do speak 6 different languages.
Hmm.
Is that right? Okay, so I got Hindu, Punjabi, English, Spanish, Urdu, and Farsi.
Yes, and Hebrew. I'm learning
Okay,
Hebrew right now.
look at that, man.
No
So,
Marathi. Okay.
Yeah, because you know,
do you just like learning languages, or is this something you would want to be able to perform in all those, like in different like roles and movies and things? Or
both. I love languages. I love. I'm a very curious person by nature, and I'm always trying to figure things out. And when I learned 4 languages by the time I was like 15, I was like, great, I want to crack more because this is very addicting. And of course, yes, like perform and act in cinema that would require that. Like I have acted in a ton of short films that I have been required to speak in Farsi.
Oh
So
wow.
that's
yeah, like
crazy.
there's a couple of them online, and I think Farsi is something that has really helped me because every time I went for casting, like people were like, "You're not Indian. Don't lie to me. You're Persian. I know. Like, stop it. I've been to Westwood. I love your food. Okay, great. You know, so like, yeah."
Do you
I was
get
like,
that a lot? This ethnically ambiguous type of
yeah,
feel?
like absolutely. So I was, well, you know what? Punjabis do actually have Persian roots,
Right.
so I can't really deny that. But you know, you feel Indian. I've lived in New Delhi, so you're more like butter chicken than fesanjoon. But fesanjoon is like a Persian version of butter chicken. It's just sweet. So anyway, I was like in this marketplace in Los Angeles, which is like Persian Angeles. It's in Westwood, so everyone there is basically Persian. And I was at this market, and I was like, in that time my Farsi wasn't good. So the guy's like, "Why are you pretending? You should be proud to be Persian." I'm like, "No, no, no, man, Persian nisam. I'm not Persian. You are lying. You should be proud. We did not cause 9/11. Those were the Arabs. Persian is not the same thing as the Arab." I was like, "Vale, vale, you're right." I didn't want to argue. I was like, "Fine, you're right." No.
You usually just shouldn't argue with people who make your food. That's probably
That's a really good point. I cannot. I'm telling you that people spit. I have a lot of actor friends who work as like waiters, waitresses, and I cannot tell you how many times they've told me they spat on people's food. So
Yeah, I'm not eating food when I go to LA.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't
No,
bother, or just be nice. How hard is
that's
that?
hard. See, that's hard to do. See.
That's harder to do.
But what's the weirdest moment you had, or people confusing for a particular race, or the wildest race that you've been confused with? Is there a wildest race? Is that a good
That's so weird. I was
question?
like, what the hell do I answer with that wildest race? I was
Yo,
like,
yeah, I want to see how this goes.
wildest race. Because I was born in Africa and Kenya, I used that a lot in my resume, especially when I was in college, like trying to intern. You have to for classes credit.
Right.
So I used to be like, oh, so am I not getting this job because I'm African?
Nice, nice, nice.
Nice. How did that go? How did that go over?
Uncomfortable for the white person. Definitely a revelation and epiphany for a few people.
I do I do that a lot actually because being Mexican, being the whitest Mexican you ever meet, oh, it's the best actually. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually pretty funny.
It's actually pretty good. No, you pass off as white and you can enjoy the brown culture. Wow.
Well, I had someone tell me it's like a secret identity, and I'm like, why is it a secret identity? It's like, well, because you get a pass with the white people, but then you're also Mexican. I'm like, but nobody accepts me. I'm not brown enough for the brown people. I'm not white enough for the white people. So we're in
You
this
gotta live
little.
a double life.
That's hence the secret identity, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
I
People
could
be like, "Oh, you're so Mexican." You're like, "Yeah, I made this Mexican personality especially for you."
it's almost like Tuesdays and Thursdays are Mexican, the rest of the days are white, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Just during
Like, oh,
siesta time. Yeah.
Taco Tuesday. It looks like according to my schedule today, I'm white, so maybe we can go taco dancing. We can go swing dancing if that's okay with you. Not sure if you can get in the club because you're not really passing for white, Ashley. Even their name's Ashley, but you're Mexican. Okay, yeah.
That would be great.
I could see that time when you actually said that. I didn't get the role because I'm African, and the white person probably would have been like, "Oh, I actually don't see color, really." You just have that time, like, I really don't see color, like.
The one colorblind person you find, yeah.
Yeah, I waited like 2 minutes to just get that out of my system.
That's what talking to comedians is like. We're always
Yeah,
like,
you have a joke,
while
and then
we're talking, we're thinking of jokes and we're trying to interrupt each other, like trying to not out talk, out joke each other. It's really funny.
So
speaking
one
of, okay, go
oh,
ahead.
go, go.
There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
Now,
this is a question that I really want to know the answer to. So part of looking at your everything you've had online, I saw a vlog that you have where you're talking about your procrastination and how your procrastination led your mom to start a almond butter company. I had to
Mhm.
know if that was absolutely true or was that sort of embellished.
It's true. It's 100% true.
So Droop
I
is the company. For those of you that don't know, Droop is the company you can get on Amazon. We'll have a picture of it when we edit this later. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that story. It's for those that are not familiar with it.
So I procrastinate a lot, but I guess like a lot of my ideas come out of procrastination. Like even if I have to text someone, right, I'll come up with jokes before I text them, and then I don't end up texting them, and then people think I'm ghosting them. So that's been part of my journey. And I remember, oh my gosh, this seems like so long ago. Like I was 19. I was supposed to do my assignment, and I was just binging on almond butter, and I was like, what the hell am I doing with my life, And I was like, Mom, like you got to make sure that there's almond butter when I fly out to India during summer break because I think I'm addicted. You should be thankful I'm not addicted to cocaine or alcohol. And my mom was like, okay. She called up every supermarket and they didn't have almond butter. And all I thought was almond butter in my life. I would be in class and I'd be like, when can this class end so I can eat almond butter? It was a serious problem. It actually led to a lot of health problems too. So it was serious, but like the addiction was real. So my mom was like, holy shit, there's no almond milk or almond butter company. So I'm just going to start one. And I was like, you know what? Go for it, girl. Cause you're hella like just free. And you're just always like calling me like, how are you doing, Aneesha? What's going on? I miss you. Come home. I'm like, Mom, just do something of your own. So that's how it happened.
That's phenomenal. I love that. That is great. Did she send you shipments when you were in LA? Was she sending you stuff?
She was trying to, and I told her, "Mom, don't bother, like, because it's like buying. I'd rather buy 500 almond butters for the amount that you would ship for, like, a box, a little tiny box."
That's right. So that was the question I really wanted to know, because I thought that was really fascinating, and I was like, that sounds true, but I can't tell. She's an actress. I can't tell.
Yeah, but it's true. Truth is comedy.
So I have a question that now I can ask because this one is over. You you actually have done a lot of stuff. You've done acting, you've done stand-up comedy, you were a dancer, you're a writer. Is there something that you don't do or you're bad at? Are you bad at something? I can edit this out of the podcast
Why
if you
would you
want
ask
other
your guest if you're bad at something?
Yeah, I don't
Bad
know. I'm
or
kind of, she's making me feel like really,
imperfect.
little about myself. So I want
Bad
to know
at
something.
getting Scorpios to like me.
Yes,
They
yes.
always freaking ghost me randomly. And today, in fact, like, Scorpios are just so pessimistic in my experience. I don't know about you guys, that my, like, absolutely stupid, absolutely foolish, unrealistic positivity, like, puts them off, So they're like, you're not a real human. Like, you can't be like so like this all the time, da, 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 da. Like, it's just, and I'm really bad at that. I really like Scorpios. I want to marry a Scorpio. I think they're really cool.
Taken.
But
We're crazy. We're crazy. Just so you know,
you
we
guys are
crazy.
amazing. I love crazy, and I can't figure you out, which makes me so bad at what I do, because I'm good at figuring people out, except Scorpios. And both the people interviewing me during this podcast are Scorpios.
What are you? You're an Aries, right?
I'm a Gemini. Oh, thank
Gemini.
God I'm not an Aries. Thank God.
I married an Aries, and my daughter's a Gemini.
Oh, that's a
It's
great
very
combination.
bizarre. It's a very bizarre combination.
That's so cute.
Because
That's
I'm
so
more
cute.
of your personality. I'm bubbly. I'm happy all the time, and then I've got to deal with this over here that's not so bubbly in person. Yeah.
I'm also really, really bad at just with just like the whole dating thing. I don't get it. I'm really bad at that. Yeah.
Well, it's even harder now during a pandemic. Like, how are you supposed to really have a conversation?
I'm a word hoe. I'm talking to a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hoe I am. Word hoe. Texting hoe.
Have you watched Indian Matchmaking on Netflix?
Oh my God. I actually low-key DM'd Aparna. I was like, what's your sun sign? Because I knew she was a Capricorn or a Virgo. And she said her birthday is on Jan 4th. And I was like, I knew you were a Capricorn, control freak.
That's funny. That's funny. I'm obsessed with that show, by the way.
It'll be fun to see you in season 2 if it happens.
I don't want to go.
You don't want to go?
I don't want to go. That's too vulnerable.
You can always say no. Apparently everybody says no, so...
I guess. I mean, I don't know if I want to end up marrying an Indian guy. I'm not, like, going on Indian matchmaking is like saying I only want to date Indians. I don't know who I'm going to marry. Like, I'm open to any race. Just don't have a small one,
Hey, your DMs are going to be great after this.
Yeah.
I'm not even my size is. Okay.
I apologize in advance because a lot of my friends are going to hit you up. I know it. I know that's going to happen.
Oh, shit.
Well, you asked for it. You put it out into the ether, and that's what you're going to get. So
careful what you wish for.
If you ever get a DM from this guy, just block him. Or just block him.
Okay.
Oh my God.
This is fun.
This is great.
I don't even know who he is, but I'm laughing because you guys are laughing.
You will. If you get a DM, you will laugh too.
All right. So hey, you're a writer. We mentioned that earlier. You got put on the radar. At 17, you wrote really secretly a pretty amazing play, Eliza Free. Mm-hmm. And it kind of blew up. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I was secretly doing my play. I was writing the play while my parents thought I was doing my summer holiday homework, and they were like, "This is the first time we've seen Aneesha like concentrate, not move, and actually study." And I was like, little do they know. So now your daughter's a Gemini, so now you know what
Great.
Geminis are up to. We're always living a double life. That's why they're twin. Anyway, I've been very passionate about social issues. So, like, even in my comedy or in my writing, I always try to include that. So there is a sense of like awareness, because I always feel like you have to pay your rent for this time on earth. So I've always thought about that with regards to my goals in my careers, to always serve humanity. And India is like India has the largest population of visually impaired people, and I never saw them out on streets. Even when you have to like cross the street, like people are just crossing the street, like
Yeah.
It's
there's
like
cows
Frogger. It's
going,
crazy.
they're just like
Yeah.
doing their thing. But what about blind people? Like they can't do that shit. You need a beep or something for them. And I was like, I try to pitch shit to like the government. They didn't take my ideas. I was like, fuck it. I ain't good at math. I ain't good at nothing. I'm going to write a play about this. So I wrote a play. I cast 16 actors from New Delhi who were all professional actors. And I was the youngest in the entire team, and I directed everybody.
Nice.
So it was a very interesting experience. And what that taught me was that to be a leader is to have a vision and to put everyone else before you. And the play did well. I got me into my dream school, USC, even though the minimum SAT requirement was 2100, and I got like 1750, which is really bad. I still got in, and I think it's also that whole experience writing Elise Free taught me that if one way doesn't work, that's not the only way.
That's did that cause any change with that kind of like, since you kind of raised awareness, did that cause any change?
I hope it did. I have no idea. I mean, people promised, like at the end of the play, I made everybody pledge, like with their hand forward. And I was like, guys, I don't want your money for charity. I don't want any money. I want you to make, each one of you here, to make friends with at least one visually impaired person. Help them shop, take them out, show them the world, understand their life, show some compassion. I don't want your money. They don't want your money either.
Right.
So go out there and do it. And they all like took a pledge. I was
Wow,
like
that's
17
cool.
on stage, like, can we take a pledge? Okay. I don't know if they did it, but I did my best to spread
That's pretty
awareness.
great, though.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, we read about this. You mixed a blended ballet and Kathak. Now, I've seen fusion with food. Never seen fusion with dance. I mean, ballet and Kathak. How did you come up with that? And
Well, first
what
explain what it is
happened?
for those that don't know or aren't familiar.
So like I created my own style of fusion dance of ballet and Kathak, and Kathak is a North Indian style of dance that also came from Iran. At the same time, different style of Kathak started in other parts of India. So it's a dance associated with North India, and since I'm North Indian, I grew up in that culture. I learned all about the royal life and the historic elements of what courtesans are. Courtesans were women who were the most educated women, but they were known as like royal sluts. But they were the most educated and very well versed in poetry and dancing and did Kathak, and I just loved that so much. Those women, so empowered they were, despite the terrible profession. And I loved ballet. So when I was growing up, those things inspired me to my dog's crying. Those things inspired me to blend the two, because I felt like that's what I wanted my identity to be. I wanted to be a fusion of ballet and North Indian dance that reflected in my art, and I created this fusion.
Nice. Is
It's
that
really
it?
neat. Yeah, it's really neat. You can see it on YouTube. I know I've seen you do ballet on a skateboard. I don't know. I can barely even go on a skateboard, and the less do ballet on top of that. So I think you're absolutely utterly talented to even
Thank you so
blend the
much.
two. It's pretty awesome. So check her out on YouTube. You definitely want to make sure that you check out those videos.
Thank
Did you
you.
just say royal sluts?
Royal sluts, yeah.
Can you tell a little more about that?
Okay, so like in ancient times in India, like let's say 19th and 20th century, you had monarchy, so you had like kings and queens and shit like that, and the kings were like big ass infidels. So there were these big ass like houses called something, forgot, and that's where all the courtesans lived together. And then there would be like one head of all those courtesans who'd always be smoking hookah, who'd be dealing with all the kings who'd come and be like, how much you got? And they'd be like, I got 100
Ah,
rupees, which at that time was like 1,000,000. Be like, all right,
yeah.
you get this slut for that rate. And then that slut would actually be very educated because at that time women were not allowed to get educated. So if you wanted to get educated, you had to be a slut. So
Interesting.
they were very well versed in poetry, very well versed in Persian, the language, and dancing and singing, and they could even like write really good poetry too. Like a lot of them wrote some fabulous poems that one of the sluts became very famous, Jan. So I'm using the word slut very often because I think there's no reason to shame them since they had so much to
Right.
themselves.
I was gonna say there should be a movie about this, but Umrao
There is
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
My uncle made it.
Which one?
It's called Jan.
Your uncle made it?
My best friend's dad, yeah.
He's Googling it right now. That's what he's
No,
doing.
I am just writing it down. I will Google it
Umrao
later.
I'm surprised you've not heard of it. It's like one of
I know
Bollywood's
the movie. I didn't know your uncle
blockbusters.
made it. I didn't know you had any relation with that movie.
Well, I do, and that's also what inspired me while I was growing up. So if you heard that song, Cookie Must Be,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
the movie, yo.
Nice. Okay. That's pretty cool.
So you mentioned earlier you moving over to LA, going to USC. There you wrote The Dancer Girl, which
Yeah.
actually won Best Drama Short in 2 different festivals, super popular. How did your experience at USC really influence your writing and kind of mold your style?
It didn't.
I'm sure your parents would be glad to hear that.
Yeah, they should. I wanted to make the short film. It just didn't fit with any of the story structures that the classes were teaching us at the time. So I couldn't use the school equipment to make this. So I had to go out of my way and make an independent one. And that's the only film that actually won festivals. So do your own thing, DIY.
That's
My dog's crying. I gotta like throw him out of the room. He's going.
All right.
okay.
We shall edit this part of the podcast while
I'll just
she
keep
takes
it in.
care
It's
of the
great.
dog.
I have to really squat because like I'm dressed up from the top, but I'm wearing pajamas. So I hope you didn't see them.
I'm dressed up from the top and I'm wearing pajama pants, so I've got no problem with that.
I will not tell you guys what I'm wearing.
Great, because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you're not wearing any pants. You're a Scorpio.
He's probably
Right.
wearing a full suit underneath, whatever. She's too proper for that.
All right.
Oh, is he? Are you proper?
I'm not going to tell you.
There's a saying that Scorpios are very sexual. Is that true?
That is very true. That is 100% true. I don't know about Mary, but yes, I can speak for myself and Mary that yes, that is super, super true. It's a gift and a curse.
Like all
Nice.
things, yes.
Don't go
Hey.
feminize them, please.
There's a lot to talk about this, but after we stop recording is when I'll talk about this topic.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. We'll keep things professional here.
Oy vey, oy vey. All right, so back on track. So you're also the founder of El Tamim Productions. Is there anything y'all are putting out right now that you're super excited about?
Yes. So Aliza Free was my play. Dancer Girl was my short film. And then those two combined is my feature film, which will be coming under El Tamim Productions.
Nice.
Nice. When is that going to be released?
It's going to be released after I get funding. So I'm working on that right now.
All right. Anybody wants to fund her? Let's go. Let's do it. Look her
Aw.
up. She's not hard to find.
Is there a name for the feature yet?
It's called Aliza.
Okay, nice.
That's exciting. That's cool. So,
So
when we see it happen, we'll be like, we knew about it beforehand. We're kind of
Yeah, you guys did.
That's
You were
true.
part of the journey and the process for sure.
Can we get a short role?
Oy vey.
I think you
Here.
can. Yeah, there's
Okay.
a big
There you go.
scene in the end where she, the protagonist dances. So yeah, there is. I'm serious.
Cool.
It's
She's
like
gonna
the
be
very
dancing
end
on-
where the credits roll. Perfect time for you to show.
after the credits roll, and after
Before-
the thank you for watching or whatever that. Yeah.
No animals were harmed.
Before.
Then picture of us, yeah.
So now to the big question. You are making your Hollywood debut with the movie Bully High, right? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So we read a lot about it. I watched the promo. We're excited for that movie. Tell us all about it. Everything you can. You're allowed to. Just tell us about it.
Sure. It's directed by Bill McAdams Jr., produced by Caroline Stella and Betsy Russell from the Saw franchise, and it's an independent Hollywood film because it's not something we've seen so far. It's about a Muslim Indian girl who gets bullied in an American high school, but she defeats violence with love. And I really would love for as many teenagers out there to check out this movie because I was bullied too. So I have like a mole over here above
Mhm.
my lip. And in elementary school, like girls used to say, "Oh, there's an ant stuck on Anisha's face." And then, like I've been through like a ton of bullying. So as I was growing up, like I left it all to karma,
Mhm.
and I learned that, the bullies also come from a place of like hurt, so I think the only way to heal is love. And I felt like life was preparing me for bully high, honestly. Like, I think that ever since I got bully high, I was like, oh my gosh, thank God I was bullied. Because then the compassion and the empathy that this character needed wouldn't have come. And how I got cast was a very unusual process, nothing that I had heard of while I was in college. When I was in college, I had heard that, you need an agent to get auditions and et cetera, or you can intern with a casting agency and then like they can somehow discover like how amazing you are. But for me as an artist, it felt like I can't do that. It's kind of like I'm not being truthful to my art. Like if I'm really good, I hope that I get it. So I was doing like part-time job, like random acting unrelated. And then I was doing a play at night in the evening
Mhm.
called Infidel, which I got cast in right after I graduated from USC. And on the last day of the show, I was really existential. I was like, holy shit, like the play's ending. I'm going to be jobless tomorrow. Might as well just change up the dialogues that I say on stage and make it my own character. So
Wow.
my director was pissed, but it was the last day. You couldn't do anything about it. And on the last of the show, the day I decided to take that drastic step was when Bill was sitting in the audience, my director of Bully High, and he saw me and he cast me in the movie. So it was a really cool experience. And just on the first day, we shot the climax scene,
Oh,
so
okay.
there was no warm up time for me. Like on the first day, it was at the principal's office, and I had to like cry and shit. And all thanks to my 3 weeks of preparation. So what I did was I literally like I was like, this is my only opportunity. I'm gonna give it my freaking all. So for 3 weeks, I didn't talk to my own mother. As you can see, my mom's always with me giving me kebabs. So I didn't talking to her was really not talking to her was very difficult, and that was because my character's mom in the movie was dead, and my character was also really depressed and bullied in the beginning. So I had to isolate myself to truly feel what it's like. Because now I'm like super social. So that I did that for 3 weeks. And that's why on the first day, when we shot the climax scene, like I was able to pull that off. And everyone did such a good job. Like, to be honest, Bully High, most of it, we still have to shoot the last scene, but most of it was shot in 2 weeks, most of the film, because
Wow.
everyone was like, with it. Like, no one wasted time. No one was a diva on set. No one was like, "Oh, one more take, like please," like
Mhm.
typical model turned actresses. No offense, but it's true. So everyone did a really good job.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
so it definitely seems like there's a theme with your projects that you take on really have a message. You really want to raise awareness because this is a super it's a pretty common issue with bullying and dealing with, very violence. So are you looking for projects that kind of speak to a message or is that just happen to be the things you're gravitated towards?
I think you said it, like, you are what you attract, right? So, like, I've always felt that way since day one, and that's why I've been attracting that. Like, I did get approached for a role in which it required me to do very bold things, like, because I have this mole, so it's associated with, like, the typical stereotype. I've got curly hair too, I'm exotic, so, like, typical the sexual girl, objectify her, and I was supposed to act in something like that. And I was like, fine, I'll do it. It's a good acting job. And then it didn't end up happening. It was not in my
Mm.
destiny. It was not in my kismet because that's not who I am. So that's not what I attract. I believe in that stuff because it's made sense so far.
Was definitely been proven very successful for you, and it's not very often we get to see somebody like right before they make it, and so it seems really you're well on your way. So I'm glad we got to get an interview without you with before that happens.
Oh, well, I'm going to hang out with you when I come to Texas because my director, Bill, is from Texas,
Oh,
Sweet. Yeah.
whereabouts in Texas?
Fort Worth.
Okay,
Okay.
not too far. Got some really good comedy clubs out there.
Yeah, can't wait to see you guys, do your thing on stage live when I come there.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Oh,
great Dallas comics too that we can check out. Man, that'll be fun. Yeah, we can make a whole trip of it. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I would love to. Would love to hang out with you guys and experience the Texas comedy life because I've done way too much of LA comedy life. So
oh
It's
yes,
definitely a different vibe.
definitely.
Totally different
And
vibe. Yeah.
understand Scorpios a little more.
I do
There's a
want to
lot of us
understand.
here. There's
Yeah.
Scorpios and comedians. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. I really love Scorpios. Why don't you guys not love me back?
We're
You
temperamental.
don't
We're
know.
temperamental.
I don't know. Maybe you guys do. You're just not telling me.
So let me ask you, if you couldn't do acting or dancing, what would you really want to do?
I'd probably be working in an NGO, I think.
All right. I know people at the food bank if you want to.
I know I do that every Sunday actually, like not food bank. I do the brown version of food bank. It's called Seva, which you should know if you're
Yes,
in
I do know one. Yeah.
Good, good.
Cool. That's nice. That's cool.
All right. So before we end our interview, we always have a couple of questions. Outside of Bully High, are there any upcoming projects that you're working on that you sort of want to tease?
Yeah, Aliza is one I'm working on. That's the
Great.
one I'm focusing on. Yeah.
Awesome. Between those two, we got major hits coming your way.
Oh,
So our last question, we want to say thank you so much for coming and doing this. I know it's nighttime for you, it's morning for us. I absolutely appreciate your dedication and
yeah,
just
it's
kind of
not
making
fair.
it
You
through.
guys get the natural sunlight, and you guys are looking so beautiful. And I'm here in this like dark third world country with like very bad lighting, but it's a great third world country to live in. I love India, but just saying. But I won't tell you what happens because I'm technically in the future. I'm like 12 hours ahead of you, so I won't tell you what happens later.
Yeah,
Okay?
don't ruin our timeline. We don't need
Yeah,
2020 to be any more exciting, okay?
yeah.
Did the asteroid hit or not? This is what I want to know.
That we're gonna have to ask Switzerland.
Okay.
So our last question that we ask every guest is, when someone Googles you, what do you want your autocomplete to be?
A human who's imperfect.
So
Uh,
Aneesha Madhok, human and imperfect.
yeah, who is single and not really
Now the
not
truth
really
comes
ready not really ready to mingle. Is sort of confused. So confused that she created her own style of fusion dance because she couldn't choose which one she wanted to do. So confused that she's speaking 6 languages because she couldn't choose which one to speak in. So
That
I
gives
don't
you
know.
more options for men. Just gonna put that out there, you
in.
know.
I think that's a good thing. Yeah, that's
Before we
right.
end, I'm gonna do the Indian matchmaking thing. So you said single, looking. So what's your ideal guy like? Okay.
Oh, Scorpio. Or
Scorpio,
Libra.
people who are listening, Scorpios, hit her
Or
up.
Libra. Or Libra or Sagittarius.
Okay,
That
that
list
is the
got
only
that list
requirement.
grew really quickly.
I'm not racist, I'm astrocist. Astro-racist. I'm like, I discriminate like Aries. I discriminate Capricorns, even though they're like really good and goal oriented and perfect at what they do. Like, I'm really, I stereotype them, and it's a lot of prejudice from my end towards Capricorns and Aries.
That's a new one. I hadn't heard that one before. Awesome. Well, once again, thank you again for being on the show. We will have this out available really soon. Once again, make sure you follow her on Instagram or Twitter. You can see it on screen there. And then if you're so inclined, please look at the movie Instagram to kind of see all the new updates for Bully High movie when that comes out and all the behind the scenes that are there. It's kind of a really cool Instagram to check out. All right, Aneesha, thank you so much. Y'all have a
Thank you
great day.
so much. You too. So excited to hang out with you when I come to Texas. You guys seem like so much fun.
Hey, that was our interview. That was fun, Tanvir. What did you think?
It was super fun. Oh, it's fair. Is it okay to say this is the most fun I've had on our podcast?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
have any
It's getting
favorites,
hard to
but
top. It's getting hard to top because every episode is just so unique. But this was a totally different way of having an interview. I liked it. I
this
loved
is
it.
so
It was
casual. Yeah, this is
yeah.
super cool.
That's our show for this week. Please remember, if you loved it, please like and subscribe. Share us on social media. We love that. Tag us. It'd be great. If you really, 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 really like this, please share us with your family, friends, and enemies. Till next time, this is Mary Picarazzi.
Tanvi Arora.
We'll see you later.